Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. And we're excited to have you all here for today's market follow-up. We're going to be proceeding with today's market follow-up as we take a look at the following asset classes and then get clarity and direction on where they are headed. Okay, so the first one we're going to be looking at is gold against the dollar. And then we'll look at the yen basket, look at the dollar related pairs as well. So starting with the gold against the dollar. If you remember in the morning, we had an analysis for gold and we said wanted to see a sell-off on gold, citing that gold was traded off the daily order block. We wanted to see a sell to the downside afterwards. Now also on 4-hour time frame, we are seeing that on 4-hour time frame, we're seeing that gold traded into this level as well, this breaker block. I started selling back to the downside. So we said we wanted to see a sell overall. Now in the morning, we said we wanted to sell gold from this place where price is to the downside. In fact, we also said if we see something like this candlestick formation 1, 2, 3, if you didn't get the sell from this fair value gap, we see something like this candlestick formation 1, 2, 3, we'll be selling it to the downside. I remember stating that. Let me even quickly show the entry for gold when we were about to enter. So when we're about to enter gold, we looked at this level here, right here, that we saw gold at this particular fair value gap. So we said we were selling it from here. This was the point where I called it out. I even sent it to the group. I said we are selling gold from this level to the downside. So you can see that gold sold off pretty much from that level all the way to the downside, okay? And we're looking at this fair value gap as where we would have exited. Price came close, tested it again and again, but at this point, it would have been this was like a good exit, even though some people exited later somewhere around here when it started retracing. So this was the trade call we gave out in the morning, and you can see how it played out all the way to the downside, okay? So we're still expecting further sales on gold, but not immediately, right? We're looking for 230. By 230, we're expecting it to open again. And this time around, this is where I'm looking at. I'm looking at somewhere around here. Okay, I'm looking at this sell around here. Once gold trades into this place, I'm looking at getting another round of sell to the downside from that place. Okay, so you can be looking at that as well. If you see your entry signature, we can take the sell to the downside when price takes an entry into this particular level. So for gold this afternoon, we are still expecting a sell to the downside. Now for the yen basket, we said in the morning that we wanted to see if the yen basket was going to break this level so that we're not expecting it to break this level, but we said if it breaks this level, then we'll be expecting a longer a sell, all right, a longer retracement to the downside. However, when we look at the 4-hour time frame, we noticed that this guy had already broken here and we're expecting it to continue buying. So we marked this level to let us know if we're going to have a deeper retracement or just a very short retracement. Now at this point, what we're seeing, we're not so clear because no clear candle has closed below that particular point. As you can see, the kind of candles that have been formed, except for 5 minutes. But if you look at 15 minutes and then 1 hour, 15 minutes and above, no one clearly formed a break up below this level. So I'm still big on the buy on the yen. I'm still expecting further buys on the yen. Even though we didn't get a good entry on GBP JPY, I'm still expecting further buys on the yen. Now for GBP JPY, I said something earlier today. I said that the two places we would want to see GBP JPY trade into. If you remember in the morning, we drew this arrow here. We said we want to see GBP JPY trade into this fair value gap on the daily time frame. You can see the fair value gap right here. Trade into it and then sell off afterwards. You can see it has traded into the fair value gap. So right now we're expecting the GBP JPY sell. You can see what it's doing from that level. It's strongly rejecting from that particular level. So we're expecting sales to the downside on GBP JPY. So let's look at the lower time frame. If you look at the lower time frame, you see that GBP JPY has already started rejecting, and then further sales is expected all the way to the downside. So we're expecting more sales, more and more sales of GBP JPY to the downside. So at this point, I'm very geared. I'm ready to get the GBP JPY sell. Or all I'm looking at for right now is to see an entry signature, and then I'll be able to enter GBP JPY sell to the downside. So GBP JPY clear sell, all is good and all is ready for the sell to the downside. Then for Euro JPY as well, you can see that Euro JPY didn't break the level we're expecting to break in the morning. So we're expecting to break this level for us to confirm a sell. So at this point, it has not broken the level. If you look at the daily time frame, it's still pushed a little further upwards. And then on the 4-hour time frame, it just traded a little more up to the upside. But overall, we're expecting it to sell, but we've not gotten any confirmation on the sell yet. So for GBP JPY, we'll get back to that. But for Euro JPY, we're expecting it to sell, but it has not given us any sign of sell. As you can see on all these time frames, it has not given us any sign of sell yet. So we'll just keep watching, we'll keep our hands tight, and we'll keep watching to see what's going to happen across board. Okay, and on the 15 minutes time frame as well, you can see that Euro JPY2 has not given us any clear sign of a sell yet. So we're just waiting. This could be a deeper retracement because if you look at this level here, price had already broken the structure. So we are clear for a sell. But right now, price is struggling with this level to sell further downward. So we might see just a brief retrace, a deeper retracement rather, and then we'll see the sell off to the downside. So for Euro JPY, it's not yet clear to sell. But for GBP JPY, we're looking to sell it from here where price is right now. We're looking for a sell. So before you enter, I think someone was asking if you can enter. Before you enter, look for an entry signature. I'm looking for engulfing candles. I'm looking for evening star patterns to print on GBP JPY. Once I see them, I'll be taking my sell. Now let me show you quickly something that looks like what I mean. You see the way these three candles formed here, 1, 2, and 3. The way they formed here on gold, 1, 2, 3. I'm expecting something like that to form on GBP JPY anywhere around here. The moment it forms, I'll be taking myself to the downside. I just wanted to see that rejection from here, and I've seen the rejection. I mean, if you look at the 4-hour time frame, you see the rejection candle. You can see it. So price rejected from that place, and we're expecting it to sell off. Same thing with the 1 hour. We're seeing rejection from there. So right now, I'm looking for those entries to show up. So I'm looking for those 3 candlestick formation or an engulfing pattern. Then I'll be taking my GBP JPY sell. Okay, so that is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for GBP JPY sell. I'm looking for gold sell. In the morning, we'll cut one gold sell and put it out to the group. This afternoon, we're looking for another gold sell and GBP JPY sell. If they play out, then we'll be taking the sales. I'll also update you guys on the group. Okay, so we'll go on a short break, and when we return, we'll analyze Euro USD and GBP USD. So stay around as we continue the market call for today.
Good afternoon, profitable traders. Welcome to the second segment of today's market scholar session. We are analyzing the XY, GBP USD, and Euro USD. Right, it's just a recap of what was said during the London session today. So on the monthly time frame for the XY, we saw a sweep of this liquidity right here all the way to the downside. And on the weekly time frame also, we're even seeing more push to the downside. But coming down to the daily time frame, this is what we're speculating that price should do. Price should trade all the way into this daily order block at 102 spot 924 on the daily time frame. Reason being that price has taken out this high residing at 98.688, and we've seen it retrace. So what we want to do is to fib this most recent swing from point A to point B. And after fibbing this most recent swing, we can actually see that price is currently at 61.8% fib level. We may see price holding up these points before buying all the way to the upside. And coming down to the 4-hour time frame, taking note of our point of interest that we called out this morning, we said we wanted to see price trade into this left shoulder at 97.706, right? Because there's a classic box pattern right here, shoulder at 97.704. Sweep to the downside, break to the upside. We want to see price retrace all the way to the left shoulder at 97.704 on the 4-hour time frame. So price still has more room to push all the way to this left shoulder. There's still more room for a sell to this left shoulder before we see the XY buying all the way. So if you are already in the sell because you're looking out for a sell to buy, a sell into the left shoulder and a buy off that point, right? Or if you prefer to wait for price to get to our point of interest, that's also cool. But if you also wanted to take the sell opportunity to the left shoulder, that's also really cool, right? So since there's still more room to the downside, I don't know if this holds, because I can spot a classic box pattern for a sell on the XY. The sell is short term, of course, reiterating that we're selling just into the 4-hour left shoulder. So there's a left shoulder at 98.784, a sweep right here. We've seen a break, so we may see price retracing all the way to this left shoulder and subsequently trade into this other block. Fair value gap. I beg your pardon, there's a fair value gap here. There's a left shoulder here that we may see price trade into before selling all the way. On GBP USD, on the monthly time frame for GBP USD, right, we're seeing that price is bearish, very much bearish. And then we saw price take out this very high at 1.34300 on the monthly time frame, and down to the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, price took out this high, and we're seeing some retracement of that level down to the daily time frame. Of course, we have seen this happening. We've seen a break of structure. First of all, we saw a change of character, price from a lower low, and eventually we saw a break of this low. So I will be looking out for sell opportunities on GBP USD down to the 4-hour time frame if we can spot any entry signature for the sell of GBP USD. So there's a shoulder right here at 1.34046, a sweep to the upside. We've seen a break right here. We're just recapping what we did during London session. Price hasn't gotten to our point of interest, so there's still more room for GBP USD to push to the upside into this left shoulder before selling off that point. And once I see price fully trade into this left shoulder, best believe I'm interested in selling GBP USD. A buy to sell, of course. It's it's on the 4-hour time frame, so this is going to take place over quite a period of time. If you're not patient enough to wait for price to trade into this left shoulder before entering the market, you can just start for entry signature for a short-term buy to one spot 35046. And once price gets into that level, you may be warming up to sell. Once price trades into this left shoulder, I'm interested in selling GBP USD. On Euro USD being last on list, we want to see what was said and what later happened. On the monthly time frame, I beg your pardon, overall direction is to the downside. We've seen a clear of this liquidity, the sweep of this liquidity right here, all the way to the upside and down to the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame also, apologies for how chaotic this chart looks. On the weekly time frame, favoring this most recent swing from point A to point B, right, price tapped into 61.8% level and we've seen some reaction of that point, and it traded into 38.2% fib level, looking as though it's holding off that point to the upside. And down to the daily time frame also, I have seen a break of structure, and this may just be a retracement. Price may just want to trade into this fair value gap right here. And once price trades into this fair value gap, we may see more bearish moves on Euro USD. Establishing that fact, coming down to the 4-hour time frame also, favoring this swing, the entire swing from point A to point B, we may see price trade into 61.8% fib level, coinciding with this fair value gap right here. So we may see some reaction of that point. Price already at this level. So see the price has tapped into this fair value gap, we may see some reaction of that point, or we may see even more push to the upside. I can't spot a classic box pattern right here for a sell, but there's more room for Euro USD to buy all the way to this fair value gap on the 4-hour time frame. We see some push to this level at 1.17181. And once price trades into this level, we will do well to sell. On the 1-hour time frame also, I'm looking out for a classic box pattern for a sell, seeing that we're looking out for sell opportunities. Right, price ranged for a while and we see some break to the upside. I'm looking out for a buy to sell. I want to buy to that level that we just called out on the 4-hour time frame, 1.17190. I hope I'm not mixing things up. Once price trades into this level, I'm more than willing to keep selling Euro USD. If you have questions at this point or a different bias from what has been analyzed, please feel free to type in chat box and we will be looking at what you're seeing together. Or if you have questions from everything that has been said, please type in chat box. While we're doing that, registration for the FX Bootcamp training is currently ongoing. You can send us a message on 081 6099 5030 for more inquiries on our various trainings. If there are no questions, this will be the end of today's market color session. See you all tomorrow by 8:30 a.m. Cheers and God bless.